Today is the 11th of December, in the year 2025. The air is cold and thin here, near the foot of the mountain. We call it Pikes Peak now, but its older name is Tavá. It is a name that means Sun Mountain in the Ute language. It is an immense shape against the Colorado sky, a silent giant watching over the plains. This mountain is more than just rock and ice. It is an idea. It is a memory. It is the beginning of a story I am piecing together. A story I call The Missing Files. This is a story about what we have forgotten about energy, about ourselves, about the very planet we inhabit. I stand here and look up at its granite face. It seems to hold the light of 1,000 sunsets within its structure. A thought comes to me, simple and persistent. What if the old people who lived here did not just see a mountain? What if they saw a tool, an engine, a source of incredible power? This is the core of the Tavá hypothesis. It suggests this mountain, and others like it, were once part of a vast forgotten system. A system of free, clean energy drawn directly from the Earth itself. A technology of harmony, not of force. This exploration begins not with complex equations, but with a feeling of discovery, like finding a map to a world just beneath our surface. A quiet, steady curiosity. We will look at old photographs of strange towers and mining towns. We will consider the unique properties of the rock beneath our feet. We will listen for a hum that most of us have learned to ignore. The first principle of the Tavá hypothesis is perhaps the simplest. It asks us to see the Earth not as a dead ball of rock, but as a living circuit board. The ground beneath our feet is not inert. It is alive with subtle energies. It holds currents that flow like hidden rivers through the soil, the rock formations, the underground water systems. These are known as telluric currents, natural electric flows, a constant and fundamental feature of our planet. They are a quiet, persistent energy source. A gift from the Earth itself, available to anyone who knows how to listen. Long ago, our ancestors may have understood this principle intimately. Old photographs from frontier towns, Fairplay, Victor, Colorado, reveal something peculiar. Strange, simple poles and towers dot the landscape. They do not look like our modern electrical infrastructure. They are simpler, more elegant. The hypothesis suggests these were not crude attempts at modern tech. Instead, perhaps they were tuning forks, designed to resonate with Earth's frequencies and gently draw energy. They were taps, not drills. The second tenet brings us into the circuit. If the Earth is the source of the current, then we, humanity, are the tuners. Our bodies are not separate from the world around us. We are fashioned from the same elements. We are carbon-based beings, grown from the soil, sustained by the water, sustained by the air. Our very biology is designed to be in relationship with the Earth's systems. Our minds, in particular, are incredibly sensitive instruments, capable of attuning themselves to the planet's own fundamental rhythm, a pulse that beats deep within its core and atmosphere. This planetary pulse is not a mystical concept. It is a measurable phenomenon known as the Schumann resonance, a set of spectrum peaks in the extremely low-frequency portion of the Earth's electromagnetic field. A steady hum that averages around 7.83 Hz. This is the Earth's heartbeat. Remarkably, our own brains operate in similar frequency bands. When we are in a state of deep meditation, or in the restorative phases of dreamless sleep, our brain waves slow down to the alpha states and the theta states, which overlap with this same resonant frequency. We are, quite literally, getting on the Earth's wavelength. This is where feeling becomes a form of data. Many people report that in these quiet states, chronic ailments begin to ease. The persistent ringing of tinnitus may fade into the background. Feelings of anxiety and agitation can soften, replaced by a sense of profound calm and connectedness. Fragments of lost memory can surface, small flashes of insight or intuition, like echoes from a distant past. This suggests that much of our modern dis-ease is not just a chemical imbalance, but a resonant one. We are out of tune. Our modern lives are filled with frequencies that disrupt this natural harmony. the constant buzz of electronics, the stresses of a fast-paced world, physical traumas, emotional traumas. These can act like static, scrambling our internal wiring. This disconnection is a form of forgetting. It makes us forget our fundamental relationship with the Earth. The third tenet of the Tavá hypothesis presents a challenging and somber idea. It suggests that major historical conflicts, such as the American Civil War, were not fought only with cannons, rifles. They were also frequency wars. They were battles for the control of the very energy system that sustained society. The burgeoning industrial powers of the 19th century had a vision for the future: centralized production, metered consumption, profit. A free, decentralized energy grid, drawn from the Earth itself, represented a fundamental threat. Imagine a world where every community could tap into a limitless source of clean energy. It would foster independence and self-sufficiency. For the architects of the new industrial age, this was unacceptable. Power had to be controlled, quantified, sold. And so, a quiet war was waged against the old system. Resonant towers, elegant poles that once dotted the landscape, were taken down. They were replaced by wires, transformers, meters. The fourth tenet introduces a simple but profound duality: carbon. Carbon is the basis of organic life. Soft, flexible, alive. Our bodies, plants, animals, allows us to feel, experience emotion, hold memory within our living cells. Silicon. Silicon is the basis of our mineral and technological world. Hard, crystalline, structured, sand, quartz, the foundation of our computers and communication networks. The Tavá hypothesis suggests the forgotten global grid was built upon a sacred union of these two elements. The old builders understood true power wasn't choosing one over the other, but creating a bridge between them. Silicon in the granite mountains, piezoelectric properties, acted as the hardware, processor, battery, capable of storing and transmitting energy, transmitting information. But it needed an operator, a conscious, feeling presence, to interact with it, to tune it, to give its power purpose. That operator was carbon-based life, humanity, artist, engineer, priest, builder. Technology without feeling is inert. Feeling without structure is chaotic. The logical crystalline nature of silicon, guided by the intuitive living wisdom of carbon. This is the bridge that allows the grid to function. When the two work in harmony, the network hums with life. Energy flows not as brute force, but as a conscious, responsive current, connecting all things. Nikola Tesla seemed to embody both. Tesla's vision for a worldwide system of wireless power was not just an engineering project. It was, in essence, a repair job, a repair. The fifth and final tenet expands our view from a single mountain to the entire planet. It proposes that Eden was not a single, mythical place. It was a function, a state of being, that could be cultivated anywhere on Earth. Every region with the right geological and energetic properties had the potential to become a garden, a self-sustaining node in a global network of life and energy. These gardens were connected by invisible pathways, often called ley lines, like the veins and arteries of a planetary body, carrying information and life force between the major nodes. The ancient towers, obelisks, pyramids that we find all over the world were the physical components of this network. They were often built with a clear line of sight to one another, allowing them to transmit and receive energy through standing waves that moved through the atmosphere and the ground. When these structures were destroyed or fell into disrepair, the lines of communication were broken. The network fractured into isolated islands of power which slowly faded as their connection to the whole was lost. But the blueprint, the underlying pattern, remained dormant within the Earth. The shift away from a resonant free energy system to a metered commercial one has caused profound harm. This harm is not just environmental, seen in the scars of mining, the pollution from burning fuels. It is a deeper, more personal harm that affects our very consciousness. By placing a meter between humanity and the Earth's natural abundance, we were placed in a cage. We were taught that energy is scarce, that it must be paid for, and that we are separate from the source of our own sustenance. This created a foundational anxiety, a constant feeling of lack that drives much of modern culture. When we are cut off from the earth's hum, we forget the language of the living world. The wind is no longer a messenger. The river is no longer a source of life. The mountain is no longer a wise elder. They become mere resources to be exploited. We fill our lives with artificial light and sound that drown out the subtle frequencies of the planet. If our ailment is one of disconnection, then the cure must be reconnection. The path of return is not a complex one. It does not require new inventions or massive investments. It begins with simple, intentional acts of listening and remembering. It is a gentle journey back into harmony with the Earth's natural rhythms. The most powerful tools for this journey are already within us: our bodies, our breath, and our attention. By learning to quiet the noise of modern life, we can begin to hear the subtle hum of the planet once more. Practices like deep sleep and yoga nidra are essential. These are not just forms of rest, they are states of deep resonant tuning. In these quiet moments, the frantic beta waves of our waking minds give way to the slower, calmer alpha, theta waves. Our brains begin to synchronize with the Schumann resonance, the 7.83 Hz heartbeat of the Earth. This is where the healing happens. The static clears. The body's natural repair mechanisms are activated. The mind finds a state of peace that is not escape, but a deep and profound homecoming. The Tavá hypothesis is, in the end, an invitation. It is a call to look at the world with new eyes, to question the story we have been told about energy, to question the story about power, to question our place in the cosmos. It asks us to consider that the answers may not lie in the future, but in a past we have been conditioned to forget. This is not a call to reject technology, but to redefine it. An invitation to a more elegant, harmonious way of living, powered by resonance rather than combustion. This journey of rediscovery can begin right here, at the foot of Sun Mountain, Tavá. It stands as a powerful, physical testament. Its massive body of granite and quartz is a battery, an antenna, a library of memory. By studying it, by listening to it, by simply being in its presence, we can begin to learn the forgotten language of the earth. Old photos from Fairplay and Victor are our clues. Strange poles and towers are our signposts. They point toward technology that was symbiotic, not parasitic. The work ahead is practical and open to all. Gather the evidence, share the fragmented memories, conduct small, simple experiments. Sit on a large stone at dawn and notice how you feel. Slow down. Quiet your mind. Allow your body to be the sensitive instrument it was designed to be. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe, like, and share. Made possible by Thunderbird Perch. Think about it. You'll live longer. Made possible by Thunderbird Perch. Thank you.